my name is Bongekile Macupe, senior reporter at City Press. We are coming to you live from the ground at Nasrec after the conclusion of day one of the National Elective Conference of the ANC, a day of delay, disruption and heckling. So we are going to be giving you a quick wrap of what happened today. So first of all, the conference was delayed by more than 5 hours. The president was supposed to have given his political report at around 9, but the president only arrived at the plenary hall at around 4. So he started speaking at around 4, but there was also glitches as he was on the podium delivering his political speech. So at the beginning, half of what he said at the beginning of his speech was inaudible because there was heckling, mainly from delegates from KZN who kept on shouting load shedding. I think this was in reference to Mineral Resources Minister Gwede Mantashe, who was also the chairperson of the ANC, and there were also screams of pala pala, and there was also singing of Wenzenu Zuma. We all know that the KZN is family behind former President Jacob Zuma. So there was his speech, the first part of his speech was inaudible. At some point, President Ramaphosa tried to control the crowd, and he was asking them to keep quiet. They were not keeping quiet. At some point, while he was speaking, some of the delegates were banging on the tables. There was just chaos. This then led to the chairperson of the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal, Siboniso Duma, walking up to the stage where the NEC was seated and where Ramaphosa was addressing, and he was having a brief chat with Gwede Mantashe, and was later joined by Bongekile while Ramaphosa was addressing, because the crowd was just uncontrollable. But even before Duma went up the stage, when President Jacob Zuma walked in, when Ramaphosa had started speaking, now the crowd erupted, mainly from KZN, of course. This completely drowned out Ramaphosa. He had to stop his speech and wait for Zuma to be seated and then continue. But even then, he was still being disrupted. But eventually, there was calm from the KZN delegates as their leadership went and tried to speak to the small group that was causing disruption. But just to backtrack a bit, when we spoke about delays earlier in the intro, the reason why there were delays in the starting of the conference is because there were delegates who were yet to be registered, right? Some of the delegates that I spoke to when I went to the Omondes here in the south where they were being registered, they had said that last night they had left at midnight because they couldn't register. Apparently there were glitches with the system, and this was a large number of delegates, Free State, Limpopo, Northwest, Northern Cape, and some pockets of the Eastern Cape and other provinces. So when we went there, some delegates were chilling in their cars playing music, others were sitting under the shade, while others were queuing in the blistering sun of Johannesburg. And to show that there was a delay in registering, when Ramaphosa eventually came into the plenary hall, seats were empty. There was no one. There was just like a few smaller delegates, and some started coming in. Interestingly, some started coming in. As they were coming in, they were singing, and this was, of course, groups from the KZN that were singing as they were walking in. Eventually, Ramaphosa then was able to deliver his 31-page speech with little disruption when the mood had come down. He got the loudest applause when he started speaking on issues of state capture and corruption, where he spoke about that those who were in state capture need to be found and would need to be dealt with. And he did say that there was of course going to be resistance, but of course this is something that he has said before. It's not completely new. And he also got the loudest applause when he spoke about that the organization needs to be a youthful organization, and we have seen already from the list of potential NEC members that they are the names of young people there, the likes of the ANC Youth League convener Nongceba Mhlauli, the likes of SASCO former president Tutuko Makomboti, and the likes of Zuko Godlimbi. So he got the loudest applause there, even when he was speaking on issues of gender gender when he spoke about that, the number of judges, women judges that have been appointed. Interestingly, as he speak about that, in the NEC, in the top 6 that is going to be voted here at this conference, there is only 2 names that of women that were are eligible to be in the ballot box. Of course, we are expecting that, even though the name of Nkosazana Zuma is not on the ballot box, on the ballot paper, she's going to be nominated from the floor. But also his speech sounded similar to the speech that he delivered in the policy conference in July around issues of the youth, around issues of gender equality, and all of those things. But also interestingly, as he was wrapping up his speech, he spoke about that, a cadre of the ANC is someone who shows respect, and he was speaking about, not people who howl and heckle, and I guess then he was taking jabs at those who had heckled him and booed him as he started speaking. So that is the wrap for today's day 1 of the ANC elective conference. We will be giving you these daily wraps for the duration of the conference, which is expected to finish on the 20th, on Tuesday. But because it started late, it is likely that it is going to be extended. But there's a big but there. Until next time.